This is an important announcement from PLM411. Have you seen this man? Eyewitnesses have seen him running manufacturing operations without PLM. His product data and operations are clearly out of control. His engineering efficiency is atrocious. He is a danger, bringing business paralysis to himself, his company, and his supply chain. Don't be fooled by his gentle good looks. He's been seen messing about with big software. He's tried to suck down PLM from acronym soup.
Yummy.
He's even tried to spray PLM benefits on like some cheap cologne. We believe he's getting desperate, turning to products from bad infomercials to integrate his data and processes. He's even been caught trying to create cloud software in some highly questionable ways. This man is out of control. If you see him, get him some PLM immediately. Thank you for continuing to watch PLM 411. We hope we've been able to provide some light entertainment along with some valuable PLM education. We'd like to add a special thanks to Autodesk PLM 360 for their support. Stay tuned for the next episode, starting now.
Hi, and welcome to this edition of PLM 411. I'm Jim Brown of Tech Clarity. Today I'm joined by Laurent of Autodesk, and we're going to be asking and attacking a tough question today. Should startups be using PLM? And I appreciate you joining me. You're in a really unique position. You've been a startup. You're now part of a team, the Ember team at Autodesk, operating in a startup mode. Maybe you can just tell us a little bit about, maybe start with what is Ember?
Ember is Autodesk's 3D printer. We were acquired about 2 years ago in a alpha prototype stage. And over 12 months, we went from alpha prototype to an engineering validation stage in NPI at a contract manufacturer in San Jose. At 18 months, just recently, we went to full production run on the Ember. So it's been quite an adventure and quite a quick road.
Yeah, well, Autodesk is really starting to move more into the production side of things, the create side, as you say. Very strong traditionally at conceptual and designing, but now moving into the production side of things. Pier 9's, I think, a good example of that. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Autodesk has been a leader in helping people imagine and design anything that was in their minds. And the step of going from the 3D model that you create to an actual finished good was a step that was at sometimes missing. And really with Spark Initiative, the Ember project, PLM 360, these are all tools, and Delcam for that matter, these are all tools to help people come to a finished product that you can hold in your hands. That's no longer just a computer model.
Yeah, you also get into a lot of the nitty-gritty and dirty things that happen in the create side, where you have to revision things and start working with suppliers. And how did you manage that early on in terms of, what were your products and bills of materials and that sort of thing?
Early on, we were managing our entire bill of materials using Google Docs and using Excel spreadsheets. And the big issue with that is as you start getting more and more suppliers, we're close to 100 some odd suppliers at this point, and having approved vendors, unapproved vendors, people you have on do not buy lists, tracking all of that in Excel and cross-referencing it becomes very, very difficult. Your spreadsheets break and you get lost. Additionally, as you're versioning different assemblies, making small adjustments, that again is someplace where it's very easy to, for one engineer to send something to a supplier without actually having a full checkoff on another engineer, getting things mixed up. With PLM 360, we can have a very clear approval flow, making sure that everything that's getting sent out has been approved, is correct, and ultimately, despite the boredom of filling out forms, it does save us considerable time and it saves us considerable money in errors and aggravation. Hardware is unlike software, right? It's hard and physical. Errors hurt. They cost a lot of money. The amount of investment that goes into creating a mold or spinning out a line or anything like that is very, very high. You want to get it right the first time, and you want to make sure that you're giving yourself the space that you can shimmy things over one way or another without being completely committed. But at some point, you will have to commit, pull the trigger, and you're going to be making 1,000, 2,000, 20,000 pieces. There's no returning them.
Yeah. So, the big question then, you and I have talked that even for a startup of 2 people, you would say, suggest PLM, and we've done some research that actually shows that sort of the traditional view that PLM costs a lot of money to implement and takes a lot of time. It can, don't get me wrong, but our research shows that it doesn't have to. But I think a lot of people would say, wow, 2 people, using PLM, but I've heard you say that. So maybe you can talk about that a bit.
As soon as you're collaborating, even if you're collaborating outside, if you're a single person, you're going to have to communicate to contract manufacturers, you have to communicate to suppliers. So I'd even say, even as one person in a startup, using PLM 360 is invaluable. Keeping all that information in your head, unless your product is incredibly simple, is going to be very challenging. So unless you're looking at only 1 or 2 parts in one product, I highly recommend using a PLM system, and PLM 360 has an advantage of being cheap and on the cloud. It's really important to have a process, get the things down in the system, locked in, so that you're able to look back and you can see the history of your product, you can see the history of your versions, you can track the orders that you've actually sent to your contract manufacturer or to suppliers that may be manufacturing sub-assemblies for you even. Makes it invaluable.
Great. Well, so we've heard it from somebody that knows startups. Laurent, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you.